guys, welcome to the Daily, the Practical and Holy, where we explore daily practices you can do every day to help improve your spiritual walk and awareness with God. We are starting a brand new little mini series. We just finished up talking about how to revitalize your faith, breathe life back into it, and today we're going to talk about how to begin moving forward in that spiritual walk. Maybe you found yourself just content, satisfied maybe for a while with your spiritual walk, and now you're ready to take that next step up the mountain and improve your walk, improve your awareness to give yourself more life, but also to help share that faith with others. So the focus of the last series we did was really on recognizing, repenting, reconciling, and renewing. Today, now, we are moving forward. So we're going to look at those 4 words: forgive, forfeit, and fortify. So we talked about asking for forgiveness, repenting last time, but now we're going to talk about actually giving and granting forgiveness. If you're ready to move forward in your spiritual life, it is essential, it is necessary to know and begin utilizing the practice of forgiveness. Now, everybody, we all know this word. We talk about it. We sometimes, hopefully, do it with our friends, do it in our families, do it with our coworkers. But sometimes, if we're honest, most of us have difficulty forgiving in certain situations and in certain events that are happening. So I think it's important really to explore, what is forgiveness? What does that really mean? Well, if you look in the New Testament, the word for forgiveness is aphemi. Isn't that a great word? Aphemi. And it has a lot of different meanings, but really the meanings we want to focus on today is to let go, to release debt. But I like that idea, to let go. That forgiveness, more than anything, is to let go. So somebody comes along and they do something intentionally or unintentionally. It's important to recognize that that happens both ways, but it hurts you, it harms you, it causes you some kind of pain, holds you back somehow. It's good to recognize that. Forgiveness is not minimizing our hurt. It's not ignoring our hurt. It's not pretending it's not there. Forgiveness, the first step in forgiveness, is recognizing, this hurts. I have been hurt. I have been wounded, either small or in a great way, by this person's actions, whether intentionally or unintentionally. But then forgiveness means I'm going to let that debt go. I'm going to let that identification of our relationship go. That person hurt me, but I'm no longer going to allow the pain that they caused to be the identifying marker in our relationship. Some of us have those kind of relationships where there is so much pain between us. That's the identification of the relationship. We have so much pain between our parents. That's what identifies a relationship. How would you identify your relationship with your parents? It's rough. It's rocky. We don't talk to each other. That's when you know forgiveness is absent, because you're identifying your relationship with pain, with hurt, with anger. That's the identifying marker. Forgiveness means you're going to let go of the identifying marker. So let's just say your spouse says something that's very hurtful to you, really wounds you. And let's say this is intentional. Your spouse knows you have this trigger, right? And they use this trigger to really wound you. And it hurts. It absolutely hurts. And maybe they come back and say, I'm sorry. Maybe they don't. And that opens up a whole list of problems. But you recognize that you want to go through the process of forgiveness. And forgiveness, at least the first step of forgiveness, we're going to go to forfeit and fortify. Those are different circumstances. But forgiveness does not require someone to say sorry. It does not. Now, when we talk about actually continuing in a relationship or even growing in a relationship when pain has happened, that's different. But you can forgive even when people aren't sorry. But what that means is you're not allowing the pain and hurt to identify the relationship anymore. And so when that spouse hurts you and you decide to forgive them, you are no longer allowing the pain from that event to identify your relationship. So you no longer have moral high ground. You are now equal, and you are no longer going to allow that pain that they cause to be the identifying mark in a relationship. That doesn't mean there isn't consequences when people hurt you. That doesn't mean that sometimes there is litigation between two Christians. We need to be very careful about litigation according to Scripture because it is harmful and hurtful. It doesn't mean that somebody doesn't have to then go back and pursue reconciliation and make up for the pain. But what that means is you're no longer going to use that pain. You release them from that pain that they caused. But in doing so, and this is where a lot of us get this wrong, in doing so, you release the pain that that event has also caused you. See, forgiveness is about the other person, but it's also about us. When we refuse to give, we allow that pain to stay between us and the other person. And so the other person experiences that pain, but we are still experiencing that pain. So in the New Testament, it lays out that we've all sinned, we've all fallen short of the glory of God, and we've all hurt that relationship with God who created us. And while that was there, we were hurting, but also while that pain and sin was there, it says God was hurting. And so God came to forgive us through his son Jesus, and in forgiving us, he released that painful identification that we have caused in our relationship with God. He removed that so that we are no longer separated in relationship with God. He has removed that pain from us, but he's removed that pain from himself because God loved us. He wants to be in relationship with us. He doesn't want that barrier to be there, so he removed it through forgiveness. And that's where Scripture lays it out. If we want to truly experience forgiveness from God, it's tied into practicing forgiveness for others. You see, when we withhold forgiving others, we're hanging on to that pain. And as long as we hang on to that pain is not only existence between us and the other person, but that pain exists between us and God, between us and others, whether we see it or not. That is the spiritual reality of sin and hurts and habits and hang-ups. Even though it happened between me and one other person, we carry it with us between every relationship we have, even the relationship we have with God, even the relationship we have with ourselves. But when we forgive, we release that pain from that other person. We release it from ourselves. And so then it no longer has power and authority over our other relationships with God and with ourselves. So aphemi, it means to let go. And I'm not saying forgiveness is easy, because when you look at the Scriptures, it led to Jesus on a cross. It doesn't mean that pain instantly goes away. Jesus still carries the scars from the cross, but what it means is that that pain no longer is the identification of the relationship. When God looks at us, he doesn't see the sin. He doesn't see us falling short anymore. Does Jesus have scars? Yes. But what he sees is a child of God. And when we forgive, that's what we see, a child of God. And that's the step that we can use to help us move in forgiveness. If you're having a hard time, every time you see that person you're trying to forgive, look at them and just say to yourself, here is a child of God. And allow that to overwhelm you. Maybe it takes a day, maybe it takes a little longer, but allow that to overwhelm you. Because I believe forgiveness is a process. A lot of times we can do it right then and there, but sometimes it takes a little work. And you know what? It's okay as long as you're doing the work. Forgiveness is the first step in moving forward to your spiritual life. So if you're really ready to move forward, find those areas, those people in your life that you really need to offer forgiveness. Remove that pain so that you can begin moving closer to God and to other people. If you like this video, you can go ahead and say like, subscribe down below, and check out our next videos as we continue to move forward later on in our spiritual walk as we talk about forfeiting and we talk about fortifying. Until then, see you next time, guys.